Hello and welcome, everyone. Today we're going to be recapping the NFL draft that happened last night. On my right, we have newcomer T. Hetty, and on my left, we have my returning co-host, Big Z Nation. And this is Nick's Picks. We're going to start right off with the first pick of the draft. What are the Browns thinking?
Well, we're used to this. They took another L last night.
See, that's where you're wrong. Baker Mayfield, he's the guy they need. He's got the attitude, someone that could lead the team.
So you don't think someone like Sam Darnold, who has the same competitiveness, if not more than Baker Mayfield, but has less character issues and is ultimately a safer pick?
He doesn't have that cocky attitude like Baker Mayfield has. With LeBron leaving Cleveland, they need someone that could run Cleveland. I think Baker Mayfield can.
They traded for a proven starting quarterback earlier in the offseason. They had a chance to get Saquon Barkley with the first pick. And then what'd they do with the fourth pick?
They took arguably the best cornerback in the draft in Denzel Ward.
At pick 4.
I'm not going to lie. That's probably where they shouldn't have went with pick 4. They should have traded down if they were going to go with Denzel Ward. But they needed cornerback help more than they did D-line. You got Emmanuel Ogbah that could play the other end. So
how do you justify taking Denzel Ward over Bradley Chubb?
I'm not going to lie. We should have took Chubb. But Denzel Ward is going to come out and start day one.
That's true. They did. At least they took a starter with the 4th overall pick. We can acknowledge that much. The Giants, on the other hand, pick number 2, they nailed it. Saquon Barkley, best player in the draft, best player for the last few drafts, I think we can all agree. And then pick number 3, I think the Jets had one of the best situations they could have imagined for right here. Best quarterback in the draft falls into their laps. We've already talked about how the Browns screwed up 4. We're going to go to the 5th pick.
This
Broncos.
pick surprised me.
It surprised you.
me. They have Von Miller already. That defense is pretty shored up. They've drafted D-ends probably 3 times out of the last 6 years. And as a Colts fan, I was pretty disappointed that they picked Chubb. I'm happy with what the Colts went, though.
Yeah, the Colts had a very safe, very effective pick. I think he keeps Andrew Luck off the ground a few more extra times this year. If Luck does come back, which we're all assuming and hoping he does. Obviously, don't want to wish any harm against the guy. It is a little, the situation the Colts have going on is a little unknown at the moment, but, you know, as far as the draft, they nailed it day one. We're going to go with the Bills. I did predict the Bills trading up. They traded up 1 pick later than I thought. I think the Bills, I'm not sure the pick is, I wouldn't have went with a quarterback if I was the Bills. You have A.J. McCarron. Josh Allen seems a little uneven to me, but they kept their second round, they kept their second first-round pick, and they still got the quarterback they wanted. That is a win for me. Mm-hmm. I think that's a win.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh Allen, he is going to fit in with Buffalo pretty good. I think he'll be a starter next year. I think he'll back up A.J. McCarron and learn pretty well and be a great starter next year.
Yep.
I think A.J. McCarron's a very capable quarterback, I think. Mm-hmm. And as you said, I mean, they were a playoff team last year. So, I mean, the pieces are still there.
The short time that he had at Cincinnati where he was playing, he put together some good drives as a starting quarterback.
So we're going to go to the 8th overall pick, the Bears. I think they nailed this. Mm-hmm. They have a huge need at linebacker. Roquan Smith, best middle linebacker prospect available. He can play on the outside in their defense as well. That's a home run to me.
I think the only dock on him is his size. He's small for a middle linebacker, and he's going to have to put on some weight to make a lasting career in the NFL.
I agree. So we're going to go with the 9th pick. A little bit of a question mark for me. Mike McGlinchey. I think he's a good player, and yes, the Niners do have a need at tackle, but at 9, that's a question mark for me.
Yeah, it's way too early for him. I was thinking mid-round, maybe 20th, but going 9 to the 49ers, really questionable.
Staley, is he still there?
Yes, Staley is still there.
Okay.
He will be playing left tackle. They've already announced McGlinchey will be competing for the starting spot at right. So at pick number 10, the Cardinals make a trade up. We all knew they were going to try to get a quarterback this round. They can't stay at 15 if they want the quarterback they like, so they move up with the Raiders, and they get Josh Rosen. I think on the field, Josh Rosen's the best quarterback in the draft. And for the Cardinals to get someone of that caliber without giving up too much, they only give up a 3rd and a 5th, I think that means a lot.
Yeah.
Really helps them. So the Dolphins went exactly how I said they were going to go. They take best player available. They get Minkah Fitzpatrick. That's a great pick. And 12, the Bucks surprised me. They traded down from 7. I expected a Derwin James pick right here. Mm-hmm. They horrible in the secondary. They have a great D line. So I was really confused with the Vita Vea pick. But I mean, what do you guys think as far as the Bucks pick?
Guy's a tank. The guy's a tank, and playing alongside with that line, I think he's going to have a pretty successful first year, helping shore up that line.
Yeah, there's going to be like no teams that can run against that Bucs D line now.
Oh yeah, they're loaded against the pass and the run right now with JPP, and they already have Gerald McCoy there, so it's a fantastic D line. I like the player. I just think there was a better option available there.
Well, maybe they thought like the D line isn't as deep as secondary is in this draft, and they could find a gem in the second round.
That's definitely possible, and we never know what's going through the minds of a GM at this point. The 13, the Redskins take Daron Payne. D-line's a big need for them. I thought it was a little bit of a reach, but once again, they did take Jonathan Allen last year in the first round. He's an Alabama guy.
Yeah.
Daron Payne, he's an Alabama guy. You can't pass up chemistry like that, and I understand the pick more now, seeing what they've done with that. So now we get to bash on the Saints. Trading an extra first-round pick for Marcus Davenport. What do you guys think?
They need a quarterback. Breeze isn't going to be there forever. I thought when they traded that they were going to go after a quarterback. I think that's what they should have done. I was definitely surprised by this pick.
I think that's what everyone thought they were going to do. I'm not sure what they were thinking, taking a pass rusher that raw at that high.
And from a small school, too. Who would have thought he was coming this early?
Yeah, you definitely don't know exactly what you're getting with this guy. He has the potential to be a fantastic player. I'm not the one to take the risk in that point. So we're going on to the Raiders at 15. They traded down with the Cardinals. They picked up a few extra picks. With the third rounder they picked up, they traded and got Martavius Bryant. That's a great acquisition.
That receiving core is loaded with
deadly.
Nelson, Cooper. Now you got Bryant there.
I think it's going to be a pick-your-poison kind of offense for Oakland this year. That being said, with all the offense they did restock, why do you go Colton Miller with the 15th overall pick?
I think they're trying to protect him, trying to protect Carr, keep him on his feet to hit those receivers. But they did need help at defense. They need a defensive secondary bad.
A lot of help on the defensive side of the ball.
You go Colton Miller, but there's linemen that are better than him still left, like Isaiah Wynn and Hernandez.
Connor Williams is also still on the board.
Exactly.
He's still on the board heading into the second round. That surprises me very much.
Gruden might have got his Gruden grinder, though, with Miller. You never know.
That is true.
You never know.
Gruden's a very good coach. He's a very good talent. He has a good eye for talent, and I'm not one to question what he's going to do, but I didn't like the pick myself. That being said, the Bills, they keep their second first round pick, and they trade back up to get Tremaine Edmonds. I love this pick. Probably my favorite pick in the draft.
Total steal.
Young, size, speed. You can do it all off the edge. Big pick. Great pick for him.
He was projected to go top 10, and he falls right into the lap of Buffalo at 16. They can't be any happier.
I do question the Ravens, though. They do have a need at linebacker. And I know they picked up some extra picks, and that's great for them. If trading down was what they wanted to accomplish, that's great. But you pass up Tremaine Edmonds at that point, you got to throw some question marks out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to move on. The Chargers, another home run pick. I think there's back-to-back home run picks. Derwin James falls to 17. I could not believe it. Every pick after 12, I was convinced it was Derwin James.
Yeah.
So I think Chargers hit it out of the park. We're going to go to the Packers. They did trade back with the Saints, and then they traded back up with the Seahawks. They take J.R. Alexander from Louisville. I think that's a great pick. Defensive back is definitely the weakest part of their team, and I think it helps them out a ton.
Yeah, he's going to come out and be the number one cornerback for that defense.
Probably, yes.
And tear up receivers.
They've struggled every year. The last 3 years, that's been their weakest point in their team is their secondary. And
That's
I think
an
they shirted up. They shirted up here.
So we're going to go to the Cowboys at 19. I have no problem with Leighton Vander Esch. I think he's a great player, and if it's true that his medical reports were false, that he does have a perfectly fine neck, he's going to be able to play a long career, that's great. But can you ignore the need at wide receiver? No wide receivers have been taken up to this point. They have their pick of the litter.
I think second round they have to go wide receiver. I like the Vander Esch pick. I think they've shored up. As long as Sean Lee can stay healthy for once, that linebacking course very good. His pursuit to the ball with Jalen Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind.
You got Jalen Smith in that combo, too.
Yeah.
So if you're the Cowboys right now, you've got to be thinking Cortland second round, too.
Yep.
He's a Des Bryant replacement. He plays very well. He's a great player, and they view him as a second-round prospect.
Yep.
They might have to trade up to get him, but I think it's Cortland Sutton to the Cowboys right now.
Yep.
So as we go on, we have back-to-back centers at pick 20 and 21. I like the Bengals acquisition of Billy Price more than I like the Lions acquisition of Frank Ragnow.
Oh, yeah.
They're both great players, but with the undervaluing of center, do you take them at 20 and 21?
I mean, center's the leader of that line. You got to have somebody that has great communication. Ragnow seems to fit Patricia and what he wants to do. So I'm fine with those picks as long as they can stay healthy and have a career. That's what you look for in a center.
Yeah, and with Price, he could really help that Cincinnati line because he could play either guard position too.
Yeah, he's very versatile.
Flexible.
Yep.
So then we're going to go down to the Titans. Titans trade up. Ravens trade back again to the 25th overall pick. They take Rashaan Evans. I love this pick.
Yeah.
He is a hard-nosed, fly to the ball. He's a bigger linebacker. And he's just a stud in the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
And I think they need that.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
he's definitely going to help that defense out.
They lost Avery Williamson in free agency. I think he steps right in that role, and it's just flawless right here. I think that's a great pick. Patriots, they go with their 2 first-round picks. Everyone expected them to take a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone expected them to package those picks and move up. They stayed put. They take 2 players from the national championship game this year.
Yep.
They get Sony Michel, and they get Isaiah Wynn. These guys were roommates at Georgia, and now they're going to be roommates at rookie minicamp. When you can build that kind of chemistry,
Yep.
I totally agree with it. Isaiah Wynn's a stud. Sony Michel, it's a little early for my taste, but he fits in that offense almost flawlessly. So I think that's great job.
Do they go quarterback in round 2?
I think they go quarterback in round 2. I think with Mason Rudolph sitting there, they have a high pick since they traded away Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
They have the Niners second-round pick. I think it's almost inevitable. If they have to trade up to get him, do it. They have the ammo to do it. I think they need a backup quarterback. Brady's considered retirement. I think you've got to go QB in the second round.
But if you don't get Mason Rudolph in the second round, I think Luke Falk could really fit their system well, and I think Belichick could really teach him, and he could be the next Tom Brady for all we know.
Luke Falk, I like him as a prospect. I don't like him with all the teams. But with New England in particular, I think he fits that.
It's a Belichick system. Any
It is.
quarterback will succeed,
Yes.
I feel like.
That couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So the Panthers break the habit. They take the first wide receiver off the board. They get DJ Moore. I'm not sure he's better than Calvin Ridley, but he might fit them more than
He is
Calvin Ridley
Steve
does.
Smith cloned.
You think he's Steve Smith cloned?
Cloned.
I think, hey, if they can get a backup, if they can get a next Steve Smith, do it.
Hard nose.
Great pick. Great pick for me. I have nothing more to say about that. The Ravens finally pick after trading down twice. They take Hayden Hurst from South Carolina. He's a great tight end. He can do it all. I mean, he can catch, he can run, he can block. He can do anything you ask him to do. Do they need tight end that much, though?
I thought they would need receiver more than they would tight end. Like, yeah, you sign Michael Crabtree and you get Willie Snead, but you still need another receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And tight end, not that big of a deal right now. They could have got one later, but I don't even know if Hayden Hurst was the best tight end in this draft.
I agree. I have him and Goder about equal. I think Goder offers more in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you do you. I mean, Calvin Ridley's still on the board. I know who I pick with the 25th overall pick.
Yeah.
And the Falcons know who they pick with the 26th overall pick. They take Calvin Ridley. That was one of the quickest picks I've seen in all draft.
Had to be.
It was immediate.
You load up 2 Alabama receivers, 2 beasts at Alabama, great receivers, had great college careers. It'll be awesome to watch in Atlanta.
Matt Ryan will have no shortage of people to throw to.
No.
It's going to be scary.
It's definitely going to be scary. Something to watch out for in the NFC. Okay, this is the part of the draft where they're burning their mock drafts. Rashad Penny and Terrell Edmonds go 27-28. I hate these picks.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're horrible.
If you're a Seahawks or a Steelers fan, you're crying right now.
I was crying for them.
Rashard Penny, way too early.
Yeah.
Way too early.
He's a workhorse back. I'm not going to cut him any slack. He's a
Yeah.
great back.
Yep.
But you can get him in the 3rd round. You can get him in the 4th round. And you need to upgrade the people he's running behind right now.
Yeah. Line, definitely need a line over running back.
That was their biggest issue last year is their line. They couldn't run block for anyone. It
They
didn't
couldn't
matter
pass
what
block
running
for
back
anyone.
they had back there.
No
It
running
wasn't-
backs
it
who
wasn't gonna
passed
happen.
240 yards last year for them. That is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And the Steelers, I can't say they did much better. Terrell Edmonds, it's a great story. Brothers go in the 1st round. First time it's ever happened. Great story. But you're taking Terrell Edmonds over Ronnie Harrison and Justin Reed, I can't justify that. No matter how hard I try, I can't justify that.
I really thought they'd go linebacker here with not having Shazier next year, so it really surprised me.
I don't think a linebacker is capable of that pick, but it's better to reach at linebacker than it is to safety.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the linebacker is a little bit deeper.
Especially if you reach that far.
They dug way into the bottom of the barrel for that one. So now we're going to go to the Jaguars, and the rich get richer. That D-line is absolutely terrifying, and they just keep adding to it. Tavon Bryant, he's great off the first step. He's going to be a great defensive tackle for him, I think.
Florida guy, he's ready to come and play.
Oh, yeah.
Next to Calais Campbell, that's scary.
I don't even want to think about that.
Watch out. Jaguars, Super Bowl champs.
So we're going to go up to Minnesota now. I might be biased, but I love this pick. I was really expecting offensive line here. I think that's the biggest need. But if the Vikings view – Rick Spielman has had a history of selecting great players in the first round. If the Vikings view Mike Hughes as a bigger value than any of the linemen, there are still 3 first-round caliber linemen available in the second round. I trust him. And I think Mike Hughes is the perfect cornerback for that system.
They needed a DB there. Sure up, help him out. I mean, I like the pick. I do like the pick.
He's going to fit in perfect.
Yep.
So we're winding down the draft. We've already talked about Sony Michel and how he's going to be a fit for the Patriots. Last pick in the first round, shocker.
Not a fan.
Am I right?
Not a fan.
So why aren't you a fan of this?
I just do not trust. You look at his Heisman year and then what he do last year. He struggled.
He put up similar numbers.
He struggled. The team struggled. Everyone struggled around him. I don't like what he brings to the table as an NFL quarterback.
I like him in general. I like the idea he represents to the NFL.
And how does he fit their system?
He doesn't.
See, that's like when they assigned RG3, I was like, what? And now I see why. Because he's mobile quarterback. He's going to help Lamar probably learn how to be a mobile quarterback in the NFL, even though RG3 hasn't had success.
I still think RG3's learning.
I still
He's
think
still
he is
learning. They're going to be learning under Joe Flacco, who has the mobility of, Quentin Nelson. He has zero mobility. So I don't know what direction they're going as far as quarterback and their scheme.
Is Joe Flacco on the hot seat?
That contract, I don't know if you can be on the hot seat.
That's true. I don't think anyone in the league wants to take up a contract like that. So as we're looking up to day 2, big winners of the first round, any New York team. Buffalo, New York Jets, and the New York Giants, they all nailed it. I think they all had great drafts. I think the Colts and the Broncos both hit home runs. And I think the Chargers and the Vikings both had great picks.
Yep.
That being said, if you're a Saints, Seahawks, or Steelers fan, the S at the beginning stands for sucky day at the draft. That was horrible. It was pitiful. I'm sorry. Browns, they didn't lose the draft, but they came pretty close.
They're close.
They're pretty
They're
close.
close.
I like that they're being aggressive, I guess, but you got to be smarter in a situation like this. You have a franchise that's won 1 game in 2 years. You need to be smart.
Yep.
And I didn't like the Raiders pick. I don't like to go against John Gruden, but I didn't like the Raiders pick at all.
Too early.
It was very early for him. So what you can expect in the second round, I think, there's still a ton of prospects available in the thing. Off the top of my head, Harold Landry, Connor Williams, Will Hernandez, James Daniel, Isaiah Oliver is still available. Yeah. There's this is the most loaded second round I've seen in a long time.
Yep.
There's going to be trades all over the place, I think.
I think I'm more excited for the second round than I was the first round.
Oh, I cannot agree more.
It's going to be unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's going to be more trades.
Still got running backs, too, that are good. Like
Darius
Geis and Nick Chubb.
And Ronald Jones from UCF, he's still available. Yeah. Or USC. I got a tweet when I was watching the draft last night. Earl Thomas, second round pick. What do you guys think?
I saw that. How old is he?
29.
29, safety, second round pick.
Injury history. I think if the Cowboys trade a second round pick for him, they're not thinking with their heads. They're not thinking very smart. They're thinking with their hearts and a hometown kid. I can't see that being a good trade. Is it a Jerry Jones move to lean with your heart over value?
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's what I thought when I saw the proposition that they were going. So as we're looking in the second round, my guarantees Vikings go O-line. They ignored it in the first round. They got to go O-line.
Guarantee it.
Yep.
Patriots, they've got to get a quarterback. They've got 2 second-round picks. They can move up. They've got to go quarterback. They have to get a Tom Brady successor.
Colts have to go D-line and corner.
Yes,
they have to shore up that defense.
They do. They got a great pick. They could have traded back and acquired more picks, but Quentin Nelson's on the board. You got to take him.
Mm-hmm.
They have to shore up that defense. It was atrocious last year. And
Who are their corners?
I think they drafted the kid from Florida last year, Quincy Wilson.
Quincy Wilson.
He showed promise.
Melvin's gone.
Gone.
Davis left
Nick
last year.
Nick Hairston's back. He's a slot. He showed potential.
I just want to say who. I mean, you have to have some named guys that are going to intimidate some receivers back there.
I don't think they have anything intimidating.
They don't have anything intimidating.
I think they go Isaiah Oliver with their first pick.
That could definitely be a thing.
If Harold Landry is on the board, you got to take
that
him.
too.
You have to have an edge rusher. That'll take the pressure off that DB.
Couldn't agree more. And my last guarantee for second round, Bucks have got to get a DB. They are loaded in the second round after trading down with the Bills. They have got to get a defensive back. Mm-hmm. They ignored it first round with Derwin James still on the board. They need to go defensive back. I'm sorry. They have to get it done.
Ronnie Harrison.
Harrison is available.
He'd fit them perfect,
He's a great player. And they brought in T.J. Ward because T.J. Ward brings the skill set that they like. Yeah. Ronnie Harrison's a lot like T.J. Ward. I think he'd go really well.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Well, you've heard it here first, guys. This is the NFL Draft Recap. See you all later.